Hi guys, can you all hear me? So if all your teammates have joined, you can put your team number in the chat so we'll know which all teams have joined and which all haven't. We'll be starting as soon as all teams join. Okay, we'll be starting shortly. Uh, Team 3 and Team 10 are still not here. Okay, guys, can all of you switch on your videos? So for the final round, I hope everybody has added the panelists to your WhatsApp groups also. Okay, Team 3 is here. Still waiting for Team 10. Okay, so Team 10 is also here. We'll be starting soon. Okay, so hi guys, we'll be starting right now. I hope everybody is joined and added the panelists and the WhatsApp groups. So congratulations on making it to the finals. We'll have three rounds this quiz. One first round is the bounce round. The second round is the written round, and the third round is anti-clockwise bounce. So we'll be starting right now. I'll explain the rules of the bounce round now. So the bounce round has 10 questions on direct. One team will get one question. So I hope everybody knows how bounce works, but I'll explain it once more. So basically, you can, in the WhatsApp groups, when you discuss the answers, you can tag the panelist to pounce. Basically, when you get the answer, you tag the panelist in your WhatsApp groups to pounce. Yeah, and when it's your turn, you can speak up on the mic and bounce. The bounce is open for 30 seconds and it will be decided on the length of the question. I'll extend and I'll reduce it uh, according to the question. So there is a plus 10 on direct or bounce, no negs, and on pounce, it's a plus 10 minus 5. There'll be part points for all the questions as well. So
If
we'll
you want to
start.
pounce, all you have to do is tag the panelist who's already there in your group.
Yeah,
That's it.
and discuss in the same group as the panelist is in. Okay, so it'll make our job easier. Yeah, cool. So we'll start now. You can discuss on mic if it's bounce. If it's your bounce, you can discuss on mic and tell the answer, but
If you
not
want to
not
discuss
on
with your
bounce.
teammates on mic, if that's what you mean to ask, then switch on your videos, like all of your team members. But uh, I'd suggest that you discuss your answers on WhatsApp as much as you can.
Yeah, just you can switch on your video, but we suggest that you use WhatsApp. Any more doubts? We'll start right now. Okay, so the first question. Recently, France felled 8 oak trees for a specific aspect of a project, one that requires 1,000 oaks. The 200-year-old trees were selected at the start of the year for their shape, structure, and for having a diameter of at least 1 meter. This decision has received criticism, notably by the French ecology minister, who questioned using such old oaks, which were part to France heritage and a key part of certain forest ecosystems. However, France's chief architecture of historical monuments responded by saying that oaks were recommended for their authentic and durable character, ID the project and the specific aspect being talked about here. So, if you have bounced, you can block
What do
in
you
the
mean
chat.
by specific aspect here?
Uh,
Like, where
like
does it relate in the question?
that's we are asking you about the project, yeah. So the one specific part of that,
We are
like
bouncing.
you can type blocks in the chat, and if you bounced also, you can type it in the chat.
Just to clarify what my teammate asked before, but you said that the specific aspect of the project has to be told in the pounds.
Yeah,
I'm not asking for a hint. I'm just clarifying in of the
yeah,
project, right? Not of the trees.
yeah. Specific part of the project. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So you can focus on the bolded parts, and those help. And we have 3 blocks right now. We think about authentic and durable character, historical monuments. Yeah. So pounds will close in 5 seconds. If you're pouncing, you can type in chat. Okay, so pounds is closed. We'll start bounce now. Team one, you can say the answer on the mic. And be specifics in your answers also.
This was about something rebuilding of Notre Dame de Paris, which was
Uh,
destroyed by fire.
Can you elaborate a little bit specific?
L-
We're looking for a specific answer.
like what do you want, like, or what what specifications, like, but
No, like the trees are used for something, yeah, not for the whole thing. So we need a specific thing.
okay, so rebuilding the roof, something.
We need a more specific. answer than that. So
It actually okay. So, can you give us a minute?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So can you move on to the next team? This is bounce, right?
Okay. So team one, last chance. You can say it right now.
Okay. Construct the base of new spire. That is what
Move.
we know.
Okay. So we'll give it. So basically, this was the construction of the Notre Dame Cathedral, and specifically the spire of the Notre Dame Cathedral. They use these trees for the spire. So team one gets it right on bounce, and yeah, we'll be moving on to the next question. In 2011, X invited a controversy when he claimed that he was a non-professional dash besides actually being an actor and a model. He claimed that he should be treated as an artist since he was a public performer. His claim was refuted by the opposing counsel. They said X's role as an actor highlight his personality as a dash, and he got these roles because he is a dash. They even said that X seems to be suffering from an identity crisis. If X is not a dash, then God knows who is a dash. Despite all this, in the end, the final decision came out in favor of X, which would be a shock to many of us. IDX, and for what reason he was claiming to be an actor. All the blanks are the same. So in 2011, there was a controversy regarding X, and you can focus on the words identity crisis because he was claiming to be something he was not. Basically, the whole controversy regarding that. So all the blanks are the same, and you can try and guess who he was. We want who he was and the reason he was claiming to be an actor. So team 7 blocked. So we'll be closing pounds in 10 seconds. If you want hints, you can ask in the chat. I'll give some more hints if you want. So basically, think we know X from something else, but he was claiming
When
to be someone else.
three teams already pounced, then why are you again giving hints?
No,
We're just reiterating the question.
yeah,
No
I'm
hints,
not
no extra
giving new
hints.
hints.
It's quite
No,
clear
you
that
said
he's
if you
claiming to
want
be
hints,
something.
ask for hints. What
Yeah,
does
but
that
I
mean?
won't
Yeah,
like
yeah, not
give
not
out the answer. Yeah, I'm I'm just gonna rephrase it. I'm not gonna give out any new hints.
Is the pounce over?
Yeah, the bounce is closed, so we can
Yeah,
go
so
on to
can we attempt?
bounce. Yeah, team two.
Yeah, so our answer is that this is Sachin Tendulkar, and he was claiming these because of taxation reasons. Because so he said that his income from advertisement should be claimed as a ta- should give him tax refund because that's his artistic work rather than sports work, or like that's his other source of income. That is what he was claiming.
And team two gets it perfectly. So that is the correct answer. So X is basically Sachin Tendulkar, and it was just as team two said. So moving on to the next question. Fugu is a type of puffer fish that is available in Japan and is considered to be a delicacy despite the fact that it is not if it is not prepared properly, it can be more poisonous than cyanide. A local supermarket in a Japanese city sold 5 packets of fugu fish without removing the livers, which is the poisonous part. To prevent residents from consuming the fish and to retrieve the poisonous ones, the city officials made use of a system that is usually reserved for other purposes. What system did they use and what is its primary purpose? Pounce is open for 30 seconds.
How specific do you want the system's answer to be?
Yeah, as specific as you can be. So Pounce will be closing in 10 seconds. Any blocks?
We are pounced.
Yeah, only one team, yeah. So I'll give some more hints.
That should be enough, right? 2 block hints.
No, we need at least 2 or 3 teams to block.
We are blocking. We are blocking the hint.
Okay, fine. So
So if
Pounce
Blocking
is
it means
closed.
they're bouncing as well, right?
Yeah, they should.
Could you confirm?
So Pounce is closed. We'll be moving on to Bounce. Team 3, you can say the answer on the mic.
Okay, the answer is emergency wireless systems. So they use the emergency wireless system, which they use it to call a missile attack or a nuclear attack. They use that to declare that the fugu fish is poisonous and to not consume it. So it was like the emergency broadcast system which they used to announce it throughout the city.
Okay, I'll take it. This is the correct answer. So they basically use the emergency alert system, which is used to alert people about earthquakes and tsunamis. So the next question. In the first part of the Hitman World of Assassination trilogy, one of the in-game missions is set in Bangkok, in and around the luxurious Himapan Hotel. The targets of our assassination are Jordan Cross, a young guy who is the lead singer of the band The Class, and his lawyer. Cross is celebrating his birthday, and our aim is to assassinate him. The name of the mission is a direct reference to a real world statistical spike which has led to the formation of a notional group. ID the name of the mission. So we want the name of the mission, which is also a reference to a notional group. Pounce is open for 30 seconds. Anybody blocking?
Yeah, blocking.
Yeah, blocking.
Again, you can focus on the bold part. Pounce will be closing in 10 seconds. Okay, so now Pounce is closed. 1 second.
It's our direct, no? Team 4's direct, right?
Yeah, team 4.
Yeah, so we'll say this is the 27 club.
Yeah, that is the correct answer. But who is this Dub King? Is he part of Team 4?
No, no, Dub King is not part of Team 4.
Just a second. Okay, then moving on, and this was the correct answer. So this is basically the 27 club. The fifth question. The regent honey-eater bird is a critically endangered bird endemic to southeastern Australia. A consequence of the dwindling population of this species, researchers have made a startling discovery. This has prompted them to capture the remaining birds and teach them something in captivity that they would have otherwise learnt in the wild. Due to the sparse population, these birds are learning a different trait and not the one exclusive to their own species. This trait is supposed to be exclusive to every species of bird. However, adult male birds are unable to teach the younger birds this trait because of how scattered their population has become. What are the researchers teaching these birds in captivity? Pounce is open for 30 seconds. Team 1 has pounced. Be a little specific in your answer. The team 4 has also pounced. Pounce will close in 10 seconds.
Just a clarification, how specific do you need the teaching to be? Like,
Hmm, as specific as you can be.
that's not helpful.
Yeah, but I can't tell anything else here because then that'll
Okay,
be
so
like giving out the
can you
answer.
before you start bounce, can you like take a look at our bounce and see if you need something more?
Yeah, you can ask the panelists in your
Cool.
WhatsApp
Just
group
wait for a
to.
second before you start bounce. Thank you.
If your pounce is really close, we'll ask you to elaborate. It's not
That's
an
what I
issue.
was asking for. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so pounce is closed. What was that team who was just asking that questions? Are they done?
With Team 6, we didn't get a confirmation yet.
Okay, just 1 second.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. You can continue with the bounce.
Okay, so bounce is starting. Team 5, you can answer on mic. Team 5. Is Team 5 there?
Is it, yeah, so team 5, is it some kind of mating dance?
Not the answer I'm looking for. Moving on to Team 6.
Team 6 pounced.
Okay, Team 7 also pounced. Team 8 also pounced. Team 9.
Yeah, we'll say this is their original bird song. So they started imitating other sounds. So they're teaching them their own bird song.
Okay, I'll take that answer. That is correct. So basically, they teach these birds their uh, natural sound using sound recordings because they actually started to learn other species sounds instead of their own. Question 6. A gyoji is a professional sumo wrestling referee in Japan whose principal and most obvious task is to referee bouts in a wrestling match. Their job is very intricate and involves many rules which they must adhere to. Gyojis wear an elaborate and colorful silk outfit, which is based on traditional clothing. The two highest ranked referees, Tate Gyoji, also have a dagger tucked into the belt of their kimono based on a representative ritual. The designation has only ever been held by 37 men. Keeping in mind the usual intense and formal nature of Japanese rituals, put funda as to why the senior most referees carry a dagger or what does it represent. So basically, we want what does that dagger represent, or yeah, bounce is open for 30 seconds. So these referees carry this. We just want to know what does it represent. Okay, one team has blocked. Okay, teams are bouncing. Bounce will close in 10 seconds. And bounce is closed. Team 6, you can answer on the mic.
Is that direct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad, my bad.
Okay.
I didn't mean to bounce. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought.
you say.
Yeah. So we'll go with the it. It represents seppuku slash harakiri, like the intense and formal nature of Japanese rituals. So they carry a dagger to help. So this, it represents the ritual of harakiri slash seppuku, and
Yeah, that is
that.
correct. That is actually exactly what we wanted. So yeah, moving on to the next question. Amid several speculations over the years about the health condition that X suffered with and caused his weird and eccentric behavior, a few French forensic scientists and coroners have decided to analyze the only piece of evidence left from his time to pinpoint the actual disease, a blood-soaked newspaper, and used a new DNA sequencing technology to diagnose the disease. On analyzing, traces of fungi known to cause a skin disease known as seborrheic dermatitis were found in the blood sample, which causes the skin to be intensely itchy and in blistered condition with a constant burning sensation, causing X to resort to his peculiar behavior. IDX and his peculiar behavior generally associated with an object.
Blocking hints.
Bounce is open for 30 seconds. So basically, we he had this, so he had a peculiar behavior. We want the person. Bounce will be closing in 10 seconds. Bounce is closed. Team 7, you can answer on mic.
Yeah, this is Marit, and the object would be the bathtub. Or if the activity is bathing, this is the
That is the correct
Marit
answer.
from Death of Perfect.
Yeah. So that is the correct answer. So this is John Paul Marriott, and he lived his whole life in a bathtub due to the condition that was mentioned in the question. Question 8. Named after an architect, this effect can be brought about in humans when the overall pattern is a mix of order and disorder. Lighting, colors, mirrors, maze-like presentation, half-hidden objects, etc. can trigger this said effect. Order can be found in the symmetry and design, whereas disorder by shutting out of external distractions and the extreme scale. Sensory overload causes humans to be put into a trance. Identify where humans experience this effect and what does it result in. So the first two paragraphs are about some certain experience, and we just want where humans experience this effect and what does it result in. Bounce is open for 30 seconds. So you can focus on the bolded parts.
Right. Anyone wants any hints or like blocks or anything?
So
All
you
right.
can, okay, Karthik.
Yeah. So basically, this this is a specific. You know, we don't need the architect's name or the what do you say, the effect's name or whatever. We just need where humans specifically experience it, and when they experience it, they tend to do something. What is it? These are the two parts of the answer. No need for the name of the effect. No need for the name of the architect or whatever. The main thing is focus on the bolded parts, maze-like presentation, symmetry, design, shutting out the external distractions, and the extreme scale. These 4 points should guide you towards the answer. And other than that, like lighting, colors, there are multiple factors which are specifically coming into play when humans are in a certain structure, considering it's an architect. So I just kind of rephrase this question. Now you guys can
Another thing, it's not a very rare place like where humans experience. It's a pretty common thing. It's a common noun if you say.
Yeah, more or less, almost everyone might have experienced this. That's right. That's another thing.
And because they're put in a trance, it results in humans doing something in this place. So once you get the place, I think you can get the second part.
Yeah, the main part is the first part. Second part is derivable from the first part. So we'll keep bounce open for 10 more seconds and then we'll go on to bounce. Okay, so bounce is closed. Team 8, you guys can answer on the mic.
No guess.
Okay, moving on to team 9.
We'll guess nightclubs or discos.
Good guess, but no. We'll move on to team 10. Team 10.
No guess. We don't have any guess.
Okay, so team 1.
OCD.
Can you give us the place?
Uncleanliness or things kept not in the perfect order.
Not the answer I'm looking for. Team 2.
I'll say this is casinos, and people tend to spend a lot of time over there because of this whole shutting down effect. Like you're shut down from the.
Very good guess, but again, no. Team 3.
Yeah, is it epilepsy and epilepsy?
No, sorry, it's not epilepsy. Team 4 pounds. Team 5. Team 5 is team 5. Okay.
Pass.
Team 6.
Yeah, so we'll answer dressing rooms, like the mirrored dressing rooms which have mirrors on all four sides and stuff like that. And I'm not very sure what you mean by what it results in, but like
Good guess, but no.
it's
Team
vertigo.
7 pounds.
Vertigo.
Okay, so bounce is closed. Very surprised that nobody got this. So the answer is Basically, the places are malls and they're designed in such a way that you spend more money than you wanted to spend when you go there.
What is the name of the effect?
We didn't ask for the name of the effect, but
No, I'm
Yeah, it's
curious.
Yeah,
Gruen. It's
Gruen
called
effect.
Gruen effect, I think. Gruen.
GRUN. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
okay, so moving on to the next question. X was first introduced in 2000 for use by tourists or police officers, and different versions of it became popular in the last decade. It was also shown in sci fi movies and can be related to something lazy people would prefer. But soon it started failing again and was regarded dangerous to use, which can also be associated with something that happened in a famous championship event to a very famous athlete. He joked that Y had paid the dash. He said he tried to kill me. I don't know what he was going on. It was like, you're winning too much, take him out. ID X and what happened in the championship. So basically, X is a thing and it became popular, but then it dwindled in popularity. And then a reason could be that something related happened to a famous athlete, and he said this. Yeah, so we just want the item and what happened in the championship to that athlete that it made X fall in popularity.
You check the chat.
Bruh.
Guys, why are you sending the answers on chat?
Hey guys, just do one thing. Just remove everyone who is not taking part in the quiz. Like people are spoiling your questions. Let the only top 10 teams take part. Just remove everyone else other than the volunteers.
I'm so sorry, guys. This question, we have to cancel it.
Yeah, can move on.
Who is this guy? Okay, moving on to the next question. XY is a Latin term for argument or other discussion that has continued or repeated to a sickening point of Y. For example, this has been discussed XY indicates that the topic has been discussed extensively and those involved have grown sick of it. What is XY? That is the first part of the question. It is also the punny name of a Chrome extension that provides data privacy by overwhelming the tracking algorithms with a lot of information and reversing the feeling of frustration that usually accompanies online X's. It employs a simple technique involving X's that pop up on a computer. This counterintuitive technique led Google viewing it as malware and later deleted the plugin. How does the XY plugin achieve data privacy? So one team has blocked. So basically, there are two parts of the question. We want XY and we want how does the plugin XY achieve data privacy? Okay, so many teams have started blocking. Bounce will close in 15 seconds.
Wait, sorry. When you're talking about the plugin achieving data privacy, did you only say that in the second, or do you want a more specific, like how they do it basically? Do you want that?
Yeah, we
They,
want how does XY work? Basically, that is also how it achieves data privacy.
it's very basic, nothing like very
Yeah.
computer science. They have a very simple technique to, like, you can see whatever in the second paragraph and you'll know what they do.
Okay, so we'll give some extra time for bounce. He'll start bounce in 10 seconds. Okay, so pounds is closed. Team 10, you can answer on the mic.
Yeah, so you want to know the way it achieves privacy, right?
And what is XY? We need both parts.
All right. So X is add, Y is I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's Noisium something, and it basically clicks the ads so that we don't have to.
Yeah, I'll take that answer. That is correct. So XY is ad nauseum. Basically, Y is related to nausea. That's why. And the plugin clicks on every advert you get and overwhelms the tracker, which made Google think it was malware. So the first bounce round is over, and yeah, now it will be the written round. It will be hosted by someone else. We'll
We'll
take five
compensate for
minutes.
the missing question, guys, before you
Yeah,
ask. So we will compensate for that later in the next one.
just 1 second.
All right, guys. Am I audible? Just put in the chat if you can hear me clearly. And like 2 minutes, we'll start with the written round. One second, just.
Okay, I'll just read out your scores really quick. Give me 2 minutes. So team 1 is at 50, team 2 is at 70, team 3 is at 55, team 4 is at 70, team 5 is at 20, team 6 is at 40, team 7 is at 70, team 8 is at 50, team 9 is at 20, and team 10 is at 5. If you have any issues with your scoring, you can take it up with your panelist and they'll clarify.
What was Team 10 score?
It's 5.
From here on out, could you please like reveal the bounce, like the checking and the scores for the bounces after each question, so that we can have our own parallel scoring?
I mean, you know if
Okay.
you get it right, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
just that
mean
it
we
takes a
know
lot of time.
the other people get it right, so that we can track their scores as well. Please.
It helps like with taking chances and whether to pounce or not.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have one
Yeah,
more pounds
Thank you.
after this
we have
written. We'll
another
try in
question,
that
so
one.
we'll try to do that there.
Okay. So we'll start with the next round. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So okay. The rules. So this is an audiovisual round. 5 questions only. So basically, in this one, it's stakes, right? Uh, Here again, you have to tag your, you know, uh, whoever is assigned to you in your WhatsApp group, add them, and then you have three options here: plus 15 or minus 10, plus 10 minus 5, plus 5 0. So basically, more risk, more points. Again, every time you answer, be sure to write down the stakes you're willing to put in. So at least put the plus 15 part, if not plus 15 minus 10, so that we'll know what you are going for. So without that, we will not be accepting answers because this whole round is based on stakes, right? And again, in this round, especially it's preferable if you first type out your whole answer and then you specifically, what do you say? Give the stakes out. If you are answering bits and pieces, might like the stakes and the exact points you're looking for might get lost in between. So make sure about that part. And then, right, that's about it. Just 5 questions. Also, just keep track of your scores. Don't lose more than what you already have. And we'll begin, I guess. This is the first question. In the 1900s, there were many bizarre treatments going around. In one of the methods, the medicine's name itself, whatever was used for the treatment, is an oxymoron, somewhat of an oxymoron. Using the directions for the said medicine, identify its name. So basically, this is behind the description of how to use behind the medicine. Exhaust the lungs of air, then fill the mouth with smoke and take a deep breath, drawing the smoke down into the lungs. Hold a few seconds, then exhale through mouth and nostrils. Prescribe dosage 4 times a day. So that's your question. This is a medicine, and it was a bizarre treatment in a century back or somewhat. And yeah, so one of the biggest hint is that this medicine's name, which is what we are looking for, is an oxymoron. So think in that way. So I'll stay on this for around 45 more seconds.
So you guys need to compile the answers for all 5 of these questions, attach the stakes alongside that, and then like give the answer all at once in the end.
You got 20 more seconds. All right, I hope you guys have submitted your answers for the first one.
Okay, are we supposed to submit it after each question or at the end of all the questions?
I mean, like, no, just keep your answers ready. My bad. Sorry. It'll compile at the end and submit it in the rules. Okay. So that was question one.
Just
We'll
like
move on.
question one, you'll only accept the exact proper noun name of the medicine, no other variants, like slight variants.
See, I'm trying for as close as possible for the,
I mean, yeah. So I'm talking about difference of like
whatever the idea of what we are looking for, it's
verb
fine.
form or something like that, or
Yeah,
adjective
yeah,
form,
yeah.
whatever.
Okay,
Oh, no,
that'll
no, it doesn't have to be that specific, but
that's
yeah,
fine.
right. Good enough. All right. Okay, moving on to the second question now. Okay, The Flying Lotus, a 19-minute orchestral composition by X, was released a few years ago after a certain event. It has 9 tracks titled Tiranga, Masoom, Pukar, Bechain, Vai, Subha, Manohar, Mustaqbil, and The Flying Lotus. I wanted to do something on what was going on in India during the event and what will happen in the future, X had said. It's open to interpretation. Listen to an excerpt from one of the compositions and give X and also the event. So X is the composer, and this whole thing is related to a certain specific event. That's what we want here. Right. So that was the composition. and I'll stay on this for around 20 more seconds, so you guys can discuss and find out an answer, and then we'll move on to the third one. Uh, 10 more seconds. All right, let's move on to the third question. This image is part of a dash developed by Dr. Siddharth Sanan in a research lab in Carnegie Mellon University. A director of a famous movie had paid visit to this lab where he got his idea for one of the main characters in the movie. Identify the character from the image. So this is the image. I'll stay here for around 10 more seconds and
You
we'll go
please
back to
go
that
back to the
question.
question once.
Yeah, sure. Right. So again, this is part of a dash, something developed by Dr. Siddharth Sanan in Carnegie Mellon University, and one director of a pretty famous movie came here and got an idea for a character. I'll stay here for like 10 seconds and show you the image again. All right, this is the image. The features are the most important part we are looking for in identifying the character. It might not have to, resemble it as soon as you look at this, but its features. So that's what I'd keep in, mind about this one. So yeah, just a quick go through of the text again, and we'll move on to the next question. That's the image. Couple of more seconds.
One question, please.
Again, okay, yeah. Sure. All right, we'll go on to question 4 now. Okay, identify the personality delivering this iconic speech. So listen carefully.
So far as the ultimate goal is concerned, I think none of us need have any apprehensions. None of us need have any doubt. But my fear, which I must express clearly, is this. Our difficulty, as I said, is not about the ultimate future. Our difficulty is how to make the heterogeneous mess that we have today take a decision in common and march in a cooperative way on that road which is bound to lead us to unity. Our difficulty is not with regard to the ultimate. Our difficulty is with regard to the beginning. Mr. Chair.
Okay, so that was some, famous personality with his iconic speech. So think about it for like 5 seconds, and then yeah, we'll move on to the last question of this round. All right, moving on.
Sorry, one sec. Can you play a bit of the speech again? the starting
Oh,
part.
sure. I'll play for like, yeah, no worries.
So far as the ultimate goal is concerned, I think none of us need have any apprehensions. None of us need have any doubt. But my fear, which I must express clearly, is this. Our difficulty, as I said, is not about the ultimate future. Our difficulty is how to make the heterogeneous mess that we have today take a decision in common and march in a cooperative way on that road which is bound to lead us to unity. Our difficulty is not with regard to the ultimate. Our difficulty is with regard to the beginning. Mr. Chair.
All right. Moving on to the last question. So give funda for this popular invention from the 1920s, initially inspired by the many open-air schools created to combat text. Patented in 1922 by one Emma Reed of Washington, it later came to the use of families for a different reason. This invention gained great popularity in London during the 1930s, which also explains its gradual wane in usage through mid-1900s. So this is the image.
Can you go back to the question, please?
Yes. So popular invention from the 1920s. Uh, which what we want is something which it was created to combat, like which is not not in enough quantities during those days apparently. So and also
The
gained
main
popularity
how it
in
was
London
created to
during the
combat, that is
1930s.
X, but also the funda behind this particular invention.
Right. You guys want to me to stay here or move on to the image?
Guys, I'll be back in a minute, please.
Okay. All right. I'll go on to
I
the
think we can move on to the
image.
image. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right, one text for the last time, and after that,
Just to
you guys
clarify,
can compile.
the answer needs both. The answer needs both X and the like the purpose that this particular invention has. I mean, with 1920s, I think X should be fairly simple, but the funda is a bit more specific than that.
All right, image. And yeah, I think. All right, so that's the end of the written round.
Uh,
Like,
can,
you guys can
can
now
you wait for
compile
5 seconds
your.
to sending answers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no worries.
You have.
Can you go
1
back to
minute.
the betting? What are the scores?
Oh, you want to? Okay, yeah, sure. The rules. Right. So these are the three options: plus 15 minus 10, plus 10 minus 5, plus 5 0. Oh. Well, just like 45 more minutes. So please do submit your answers in that much time. Also, for the last question, X is also needed. I'll just go back there on.
Just to confirm, X, you said that it should be obvious on the timeline.
Yeah.
Oof.
Can you go back to 5?
Yes, yes.
For
We need X and the funder, right?
Yep. X and the funder.
what kind of thing is an X?
Something which was fairly common. That's what we said earlier. We are refraining from giving out anything else at this point of
Sir,
time.
can you please show the third question? I just need to confirm what was asked.
Okay. I think we can do a run through. Wait,
Yeah,
one
sure,
second.
sir. If it's possible, please.
One second. Right, yeah, I'll just stay around 10 seconds to quickly read out the questions, and after, but I mean, by the end of this, be sure you submit all your answers, right? And then we'll just move on to the answers part. Okay. So basically, an oxymoron, which was a bizarre treatment back in the 1900s. Basically the direction of how to use the medicine was given. I mean, I read it out 2 times, so you guys should know what the idea is, right? That's the first question. So I just need the name of the medicine. Right. Okay. Second one. This is that long song. This was released a couple of years ago by a famous composer, and then like it had to do something with an event going on in India at that time. So we need the event and the composer's name. Right. Okay,
We don't need Y, right?
no. Give X and also the event. That's it.
Cool.
Okay. This image is basically, I'll show you the image again. So it was something which was developed in Carnegie Mellon, and then in some way that's resembling a character from a famous movie, right? And this is the image. So you have to identify the movie. I mean, sorry, the character, not the movie, the character. Right. Then this was again a personality delivering a famous speech. So just the name of the guy. And the last one, yeah. So basically here there are two parts to the question. I mean answers. One is X and what the funda is, like, you know, the whole theme of this specific thing. And right, these are the images. All right. So that's about it. Just put down your team numbers if you have already submitted the answers, so that we can go on to the question. I mean answers. Just in the chat, like, you know, 1 to 10. Just need to make sure everyone has submitted the answers.
I think chat has been disabled.
Chat is disabled.
Oh, sorry, never mind. Okay, I'll just you guys can okay. 1 and 8 is done.
7 also
2
done.
is done.
7 2. All right.
10 is
So
also done.
10 done, 6 done, 3 done.
9 is also done.
9 is done. 4 is done.
8 is done.
Team 8 done. All right. Yeah. Team 4 and 5 I didn't get, so
5
done.
is
All right.
also done.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just 4 now. Yeah, that's all said. Okay. Okay. 4 also done. All right. So yeah, we'll move on to the answers. Okay. For the first question, basically the answer we're looking for was asthma cigarette, and that's because it's a, you know, oxymoron. But considering that couple of answers have been all right. Yeah. My bad. This was supposed to be a shout out. The next questions you guys can answer. Anyways, so
Just to clarify, how is this an oxymoron?
cigarettes
That's not
cause
an
asthma?
oxymoron.
No, no, not
That's
exact.
not
I
the
said
opposite
somewhat
way.
of an oxymoron. I know what an oxymoron means. I meant as in like the
I mean,
name of
even if
this
you
thing
gave
sounds.
something like medicine cigarettes or medicated cigarettes, and that
Yeah,
would
so
be
we
good.
get points for stuff like that, right? We gave health
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
cigarettes.
yeah. That would be good.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was telling. We were looking for asthma cigarettes, but medicated cigarettes or
Okay,
health
so
cigarettes,
medicated
they
cigarettes
work.
also an oxymoron of its nature.
Yep,
That's good.
it works. It works. All right. So yeah, the second one. Anyone wants to unmute and answer? Yes, can go ahead.
This was, should I say it?
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Go
A.R.
ahead.
Rahman and demonetization.
Bingo. That is the correct answer. So yeah, Raman and demonetization. It's like a big video. I think we'd rather skip through it right now. Oops. Never mind. We'll go to the next one. All right. Question 3. Yeah. Any answers?
Baymax.
Any Baymax, Big Hero 6.
Right. That is correct. Baymax from Big Hero 6. And then the fourth question should be pretty obvious.
BR Ambedkar.
Ambedkar ji.
Right. That is correct. Ambedkar in the con. And the last one. What?
Like baby cages and Spanish flu.
Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis.
Right. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for X as tuberculosis. And right, the baby cages part is correct. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. Right.
How
So
how is tuberculosis related to the timeline here?
I think it was pretty common during those days.
When
And
tuberculosis has been common for the last 300 years.
I mean, might be. I'll just
My like we specifically went for Spanish flu because of 1920s.
right. I'll just get back with that answer. I'll check with UCs and let you know. And by that time, they'll just update the scores again, and then we'll move on to the last round of the quiz. All right. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the funda of the baby cages, can the answer be that it was used to protect the children's from spread of tuberculosis and something like that?
I mean that they could have kept them at home, right? The specific part about this thing was so that they could get certain, fresh air, sunlight without them falling off a huge building. So that was the main point of the funda.
So Karthik, so we have
You,
given that
you'll
funda
give us
correctly.
the score, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will provide the scores. Yeah. If Team 9 is here, I'd like you to add me to the WhatsApp group because the person with you is going to host this round. So I'm sending the number in the Q Factor General Quiz group. So yeah, Team 9. All right, done.
So, guys, I've put up the scores up until now. It's in the chat box.
Okay, guys, we'll begin the last round, that is the anti-clockwise bounce round. But before that, there's still some of you who haven't turned on your videos, so please turn on your video and then let's move on. Okay, we can start now. The rules are exactly the same as clockwise bounce, except that this time it'll go from 10 and then 9 and then 8 and that way. The rest of the rules are the same, so I won't be reading them out. You'll get 30 seconds for bounce, and then bounce will start. Plus 10 for direct bounce, and plus 10 minus 5 for bounce. Before we start on with the anti-clockwise bounce, we still have to do the clockwise bounce for Team 9, so we'll do that first. During the British blockade of Germany during World War One, food supplies began to dry up in the city of Cologne. The mayor of Cologne started to research ways of substituting available materials for scarce items. He began to substitute wheat with rice flour to make bread. From this bread making experience, he found that eggs, now a common alternative, could be a suitable substitute for meat, and hence came up with the idea of XY, which replaced the ground up meat of Y with ground up eggs. He applied for a patent for his new creation in Germany, only for it to be denied due to strict laws on what could be called a Y, IDXY. Directed to Directed to Team 9, your pound stamp starts now. So,
For XY, X is the
yeah.
English, right? We don't have to give the German name for it.
No, yeah, both are English words.
Okay,
And Y is common, and X is a substitute, and that substitute is now common also. 15 more seconds for pounds. All right, 5 more seconds. Bounce is now closed. Team 9, you can unmute and answer.
We'll pass.
Okay. Team 10.
Toss.
Okay. Team 1.
Wait, is this clockwise or counterclockwise bounce?
Just this question is clockwise. The rest of the round
Okay.
is anti-clockwise. So, Team 1. Team 1, do you have an answer? Okay, I'm now getting an answer. So, I'll
Uh,
move on.
no,
Yeah.
Y is X is bean. Not sure with Y. Y, what is Y?
Okay. Sorry.
Uh,
Are you guessing why or?
uh, beef or beef.
Okay, I'll pass to Team 2.
We pounced actually.
Okay, cool. Team 3 and 4 have also found. So, Team 5.
Pass, pass.
Okay. Team Team 6 has bounced, 7 has bounced, 8 has bounced. We started with Team 9. Okay, so no one has answered this. Does anyone want to attempt it? You can shout out and answer.
Soy sausage?
Soy sausage is right. Okay, so now we'll move on to anti-clockwise round. Soy sausage. Uh, so this next direct is to Team 10, and then it'll go to 9 and so on. So yeah. River Plate and Boca Juniors are two rival football clubs based in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and their supporters are known to be widely passionate and extremely loyal to their teams. Both sets of fans try not to associate themselves with anything that might remind them of the other club, and thus a major sponsor of Boca Juniors had to change their branding so as to not clash with River Plate's colors. Due to extreme violence between the two sets of fans, the second leg of the Copa Libertadores final 2018 had to be shifted to another location X, which befitted the name of the trophy they were competing for. ID X and the sponsor. And there's an image. So there are two parts. You have to figure out the X, that is, yeah, X and the sponsor. Your time for pounds starts now.
Are you showing the image or are we
Yeah,
still waiting?
Uh, just clarification.
yeah.
So when you say befitted the name of the trophy, do you mean like, for instance, if it was the FIFA World Cup, do you mean the FIFA World Cup or the Jules Rimet Cup? Like the name of the trophy itself or the name of the
Yeah. That's right. It befitted the name of the trophy.
name of the trophy?
Yeah. 10 more seconds on pounds. All right, so bounce is now closed. Team 10.
Okay, so I know the location. It is Santiago Bernabeu.
Okay. Do you want to guess?
Done. No, no
What's
idea of the sponsor.
okay?
Not even the sponsor.
Team 9.
We'll pass.
Okay. Team 8. Team 8, you
Coca-Cola
have
by
cons-
any means. The sponsor.
sorry,
Coca-Cola.
that's the sponsor, yeah. So what's X? What's your guess?
Bernabeu, Madrid.
Sorry.
Santiago Bernabeu, Madrid.
All right. Okay, so that's the right answer. So the colors of the left image are like similar to Coca-Cola's colors, so they had to change the branding. So the tournament name Libertadores might lead you to Madrid. So which team was it? Team 8, yeah?
Yeah.
So teammate gets +10 and team 10 gets +5. Now direct is to team 9. The Arab world has seen the reign of multiple caliphate or dynasties throughout its history, the major ones being the Abbasid, Umayyad, Fatimid, and Hashemite dynasty, whose capital cities are in modern-day Iraq, Syria, Egypt, and Jordan respectively. Many present-day Arab nations have paid homage to these caliphates in a way that is representative of their respective countries all over the world. Another inspiration for this homage comes from a verse by Safi al-Din al-Hili, a 14th century Iraqi poet. Blank are our acts, blank are battles, blank are fields, and blank are swords. Blanks are not indicative. So ID how they have been given homage.
Are all the blanks the same?
No, they're not the same.
Oh, okay.
So this is red to team 9, and your bounce time starts now. If you're blocking or if you have bounce, please put in the chat. I'll let another 15 seconds for
The
bounce.
chat is closed. Are we supposed to put blocking in the chat or?
Right.
Yeah, my bad. I have it.
I'll let 5 more seconds on the bounce. Okay, bounce is closed. Team 9, go ahead.
Pass.
Okay, team 8 has bounced, so team 7.
Yeah, so we'll say this is the flag of UAE, United Arab Emirates.
Okay, do you want to improve?
Huh?
Do you want to improve your answer?
It's team 6 to Jared. Who's Jared today?
No, this is
No, same team. But do you want to improve your answer?
So these are colors in the flag of UAE, United Arab Emirates.
all right. Okay, I'll take it, but it's not just the UAE. It's in fact all of the Arab countries. They all have black, green, red, and white incorporated in their flags. So you'll get +10. Which team is this? Which team gave the answer this time? Okay, I'm guessing that's team 7. Next question, direct to team 8. Only one structure in Walt Disney World crosses 200 feet in height, with structures coming up to 199 and even 199.5 feet. The only one that exceeds 200 feet in height is the Walt Disney World Dolphin Hotel, which stands 257 feet tall. This was a conscious decision made by the Disney Imagineers, since crossing 200 feet would mean disrupting guest immersion and interrupting the intended theme. By staying a little under 200 feet, the majesty and grandeur of the structures is allowed to reign supreme. Why did they decide to keep a threshold of 200 feet? So this is direct to team 8. Your bounce time starts now. Ten more seconds on the bounce. Okay, bounce is now closed. Team 8, go ahead.
They kept it under 200 feet because the laws say that if you're above 200 feet, you have to have red flashing lights for airplanes, and they didn't want those red flashing lights to disrupt the view.
Okay, that's exactly right. So, yeah. So any structure higher than 200 feet needs to have the aircraft warning lights, and they didn't want that in the structures. So plus 10 to team 8. Um, Next is direct to team 7. While X says he did this just because it was a hot day, many fan theories have come up regarding this phenomenon. According to one fan theory, X had died prior to this, and the group were walking out of a cemetery in a funeral procession. The procession was led by L, dressed in white as a religious figure. S was dressed in black as the Undertaker. X, out of step with the others, was a blank corpse, and H, dressed in denim, was a grave digger. ID X, and what did he do? So direct to team 7. Pound starts now. Ten more seconds on the bounce. Okay, so bounce is now closed. Team 7. Team 7, you can go ahead. Hello, Team 7. Okay, if I don't get an answer, I'll move on to Team 6. So
Yeah, team 7 we pounced. So should we give out the answer or?
Yeah, team 6 can we answer?
Team 7 bounced. Uh, one sec.
No, it was our director, right? So Arun.
Yeah, team, can we already gave the answer? Can we do that?
Okay, you can say the same answer on the mic.
Yeah, Arun gone.
Sorry?
Okay. Yeah, so we'll say this is the Abbey Road. BT is crossing the Abbey Road photo, and the X is Paul McCartney.
Okay, X is Paul McCartney. So what did X do?
They cross the road, Abbey Road.
Can you move on? Can we improve that answer? Team 6.
Oh, 1 second. Paul is dead. Rumor. Abbey Road photo. He walked bare. He walked barefoot.
Yeah, okay. Walking barefoot is the right answer. So you'll get plus 10 for that. Yeah, you see he's the only one without shoes. So the next question is direct to Team 6. In 1912, a large petroleum reservoir was discovered in a small town in Texas, as a result of which 20,000 new settlers had taken up residence around the lucrative oil field. Nearby cities grew in importance, but they lacked office space. So when an engineer announced that he would build a high-rise annex to one of the existing working spaces, he managed to raise $200,000 from a group of naive investors. He managed to swindle the investors by doing something subtle yet effective in the blueprint. The investors did not recognize the discrepancy and even won the lawsuit that the investors tried bringing over him. How did he manage to swindle the investors? This direct is to Team 6, and bounce time starts now. Ten more seconds on the bounce. All right, bounce is closed. Team 6, go ahead. Team 6.
So high-rise annex to one of the working spaces, we'll say he essentially created some kind of a very thin spire on top of the working spaces and said that this is the office space that you're getting, and just this is the swindling that he did. He portrayed it to be something very huge and stuff like that, but you can't actually live in that office tiny high-rise annex that he made. Just a spire of some sort. That's what we're going with.
Okay, good guess, but that's not what I'm looking for. So, pass to Team 5.
Okay, so yeah, uh, I mean, he made like basically some sort of a model. Like instead of the actual building, he made some sort of a model. So it was like maybe he said some 300 feet it will be, but he did only like some 300 inches or something. I don't know.
Okay, do you want to improve on that answer? Notice that he did some change in the blueprint. So, what change could that be?
Okay, maybe he did not mention the actual like units of the this thing, the height in the blueprint.
I'll give you one more chance to improve. Work on the first answer that you gave and the small change.
Okay. Not exactly sure what he could have done.
Okay, I'll have to pass. Team 4. Team 4.
4 pounds.
Okay, cool. Team 3.
Okay, so like in the blueprints, the scale is given like this centimeter is equal to this in real life, this feet in real life. So he might have written something like subtly like once the blueprint is the real size and the like 3 centimeters to real life maybe 3 centimeter. So it can be like that. The scale was the real life
Okay.
to map scale was similar, so he deceived them like that.
Yeah.
Like the scale of the
Okay.
map was.
That's also a nice guess, but again, it's not what I'm looking for. Sorry. This was Team 3, right? So Team 2 has bounced, so it's Team 1. Team 1, do you have an answer?
Uh, I think it was something like the he switched the units like from inches to feet or something like that. I'm not quite sure about it.
Okay. How did you do that?
In the mentioning in the blueprint, he might have switched the scales. I mean, I'm not
I mean,
sure.
it's something subtle yet effective. And
Um, it might. Yes. Like in the numbers, like if it's 20 inches, then the symbol, the double quotes and single quotes thing, certainly effective. That can be the case.
okay, that is what I'm looking for. So you get plus 10. And Team 5 was the first one to mention feet and inches, although they did not give me the exact answer. which is he used double quotes instead of single quotes. So all measurements were shifted from feet to inches. So team 1 gets plus 10 and team 5, I think, gets plus 5. And now the direct is to team uh, 5. Yeah, direct is to team 5. Born in Oklahoma in 1903 and married to Cleo Owens in 1921, Florence Owens Thompson unknowingly and resentfully became a symbol of X when Dorothea Lange supported Thompson in Mississippi, sitting on the side of the road with her 5 children, which happened to be near a blank labor camp that hosted 2,500 laborers. Thompson, however, was helped by the very same predicament, wherein her family was able to use it to raise funds from the American public to cover her treatment for a stroke she suffered in 1983. This experience changed the family's views on the predicament, realizing the number of people moved by their mother's plight. IDX, how did Florence Thompson gain recognition? So this is direct to Team 5, and your bounce time starts now. Fifteen seconds left. 5 seconds. All right, time's up. So Team 5, no, yeah, Team 5. This is your
Okay.
direct.
Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So we'll say X is the Great Depression, and how did she gain recognition? So basically, there was a famous photo of a person, a mother, just single face. I don't remember the name. I think it was some Time photo of the year or something like that.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
The photo is known as the migrant mother, but I'll give it to you because you describe it. And yeah, X is the Great Depression. So Team 5 gets plus 10. And now direct us to Team 4. In the September of 1970, certain Henry Kissinger came into the office of his superior, slamming down a file of air oh God, yeah, photos of the southern shore of neighboring country X. Henry pointed out the development activities underway at a particular and coupled the development of certain sport facility. It concerned him, and he wanted to see the president immediately to warn him of the imminent danger of war, or at least the possibility of another buy. ID why, and how did the development of sport facility caution him? Direct to Team 4. Bounce time starts now. Okay, 10 more seconds.
Sorry, is why a noun, or can we just give a detail about it, or do we have to specify the noun?
Yeah, it is a noun. Okay, so bounce is now closed. Team 4.
Can you clarify what you need for why more specifically?
Why is something that happened which wasn't, like, from the question you can understand it wasn't a good thing. So this Henry Kissinger wanted to warn the president of another happening, like what?
Oh, cool.
Can we answer?
Team 4, yeah.
Yeah, so the country is Cuba, and the development is basically related to. So Cuba is primarily a baseball playing country. Once they started seeing football fields, they were scared that the Soviets had landed there, and of that which would
Yeah, so that the Soviet influence in Cuba is the funda. What exactly do you want for why? You said it's one particular event.
Yeah, and it's not a good event.
Okay, so something like trigger something like a new Cold War or missile crisis, something like that.
Okay, I'll give it to you. It is the Cuban Missile Crisis, and yeah, they are a predominantly baseball playing country, but soccer meant that there were Russians in Cuba. So that's right. Your team 4 here, you get plus 10. And now direct is to team 3. X is a word which originated from the Arabic word for pisas, or a sticky and waxy natural substance used in the Islamic medicine for generations. Bitumen, a substance which looked pretty similar to pisas oil, was used for making X's, and hence was also known by the same name. Europeans were introduced to pisas during the wars and crusades, and their similar nature caused a misunderstanding, and saw upper-class Europeans spending fortunes on them, and had feasts where they would ground eggs and take it with honey to cure disease and for better immunity. IDX. Direct to team 3, and bounce time starts now.
Guys, the fact that they would ground eggs and take it with honey, I just want to say don't focus too much on that bit. Focus on the rest of the question, please.
If there's any blocks, put it in the chat. Fifty more seconds on bounce. Okay, 5 more seconds. Bounce is now closed. So team 3.
It was used to make mummies in the ancient Egypt.
Okay, so yeah, that's right. X is mummies. Just hold on a second now. You get your scores. So this is the experience gets plus 10, and all the scores till now will be sent in a minute. Okay, we'll put the scores after the next question.
The
The direct.
scores are up in the chat.
Okay, cool. Uh, the next question is direct to T2. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So shown in the image is a bronze sculpture which was originally placed in Berlin's Alexanderplatz on May Day. It features Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, and Chelsea Manning, prominent whistleblowers. Additionally, the sculpture also contains an empty chair. What purpose did this empty chair serve, or what is its significance? There's an image. So to tell the significance of that empty chair, direct to team 2, and bounce time starts now. Fifteen seconds on the bounce. 5 more seconds. All right, time's up. Team 2, it's your turn.
Yeah, so the fourth chair is for anybody from the public to go there and speak their mind out because it's the chair for freedom. So the whole idea being that why only three people speak, anybody can come and speak.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, the fourth chair provides a platform for public speaking. So yeah, anyone can go and stand on and speak. So team 2, that's a +10. And the next one is direct to team 1. And this is the last question of the quiz. Yeah. Daksha Kumar Charitam is a Sanskrit romance written by Dandi in the 7th or 8th centuries CE. The text describes the adventures of 10 young men, all of whom are either princes or sons of royal ministers. At the beginning of the 7th chapter, Prince Mitragupta is called upon to relate his adventures. However, his lips are swollen as they have been nibbled several times playfully by his beloved, making it painful for him to close them, compelling him to refrain from doing something. This instance in the text makes Dasha Kumar Charita one of the earliest known pieces of Sanskrit literature to have a specimen of X, ID X, and what was the thing he was unable to do due to his condition. Direct to team 1, and time for count starts now.
So X is kind of like a concept. It's not a particular thing. When we say specimen of X, basically Dashakumar Charitam is the first example of something happening in the field of literature like that. It does have an exact word, but a description of what X is will do.
Can we just give a description of X rather than the
Yeah,
Yeah,
actual?
description works.
yeah.
Another 15 seconds. Okay, another 5 seconds. Okay, so bounce is now closed. Team 1.
Yeah, so the specimen was lipogrammatic writing, that is constraint writing something, species of constraint writing, and
Okay.
the condition he was not able to speak some like syllables like per for some syllables which include the lips movement, joining of the lips like per for ber, and he cannot speak those.
Yep, that's exactly right. It is lipogrammatic writing, which means writing a story without using a few letters. And yeah, since his lower lip was swollen, he wasn't able to use labial consonants for the no. So team 1, you get +10. We'll put up the scores shortly here on Meet Chat itself. So give it a minute. And thanks everyone for attending the quiz. Uh, that we do have is like 2 more quizzes coming up, which is main as tomorrow and uh, women's quiz on 21st. So make sure you register for that as well and follow us for more quizzes.
Guys, your final scores are up. They're in the meet chat.
So team 1 is at first place with 200. Team 7 is at first place with 230 points. There's a tie for second place between teams 4 and 8, and team 2 is at third with 215. So congrats to teams 7, 4, 8, and 2. And congrats to all the rest of the teams as well for making it to the finals. And thank you for joining us this evening.